Okay, so this is where you're gonna need your worksheet. So make sure at this time that you've got your worksheet. If you don't, you're probably gonna have to pause your video right now and get that worksheet from me. I will also try and have these shared with you through Google Drive, but unfortunately, you actually physically need to be working on your worksheets. So you're gonna need a physical copy. So if you have access to a printer and you're at home, well, you could go ahead and print that. Otherwise, I do have them in the folders over on the counter. Okay, so here, you guys are doing exactly what I'm doing on your worksheets as I work through these. So we're gonna go ahead and do translations involving and working with coordinates also. So the key thing on this is if they ask us to translate a figure, we're gonna go ahead and have to, first of all, see what the translation was. And that's located down here, not always down below, but on this worksheet, that's where they've given us the translation. So it says the shape above has the following coordinates. -5, 5. So -5. Now these coordinates are not, or these coordinate planes are not set up with numbers. If you need those numbers, you're gonna have to go ahead and write those in. I'm gonna go ahead and just count. We guys know that this is 0, 0. Okay, so my -5, 5 is actually my red dot. So that's my A. Over to 0 up to 9, that would be, looks to me like it's a green dot. It's right here. Okay, so that's my green dot. And my letter C, -10, 10 is my yellow dot that's located right up here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark those with colors. You do not have a colored sheet, so you're just kind of going off of the same locations as me. If you would like to mark them on your sheet, you could go ahead and mark them as this was A, this was B, and this was C. Okay, so now if I go ahead and translate, we're gonna first of all have to read what the translation was. And that was to move the shape 4 units right and 1 unit down. So when we translate, we're gonna pick one of our points. It does not matter which point we choose to work with first. And we're gonna go ahead and follow those steps that are stated right here. So I need to pick a point and go 4 units to the right and 1 unit down and put my new point. So I'm gonna count with my black marker, and then I'm gonna mark with the color that is indicated on my sheet. So if I go 4 units, I'll go ahead and start with my A, my red dot, and I'm gonna go 4 units to the right. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna go 1 unit down. So if I go 1 unit down, it's gonna be sitting right here is where my new red dot is. Okay, so now I can go ahead and continue that exact same counting from each of the points. Some of you might say, well, I'm more comfortable with counting it out now from that red dot. To get to my B, I would have to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. And I could do that. So over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my new B right here. Okay, other people might not be comfortable with that method. So then the other method that you can use is you can go ahead and just count from that point again. So if I want to translate my C, well, maybe I'm not comfortable with the method that Mrs. Swanson just showed me. I can do the method that I did off of A every single time. So if I go ahead and move my, I'm going to erase this quick to get rid of my extra dots here. Whoops. Okay, so if I wanted to move my C, well, I could do the same method that I had done earlier and just count out. So I need to go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 1. So this is where my C would now be. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in with. Okay, so now if I go ahead and connect each of those lines, and you're going to use a straight edge for this, I would prefer you to use a straight edge, just so that it does end up looking like the same figure. So I'm going to go ahead and draw. Hopefully my computer will work with me here. And you can see that I have a figure that looks similar. It's the same shape, same size. It's just slid over a little bit. Okay, so that's a translation. The translation of this was 4 units to the right and 1 unit down. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and practice that again. You should be doing this on your worksheet. So we're going to go ahead and try another one here. Oops. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do number 2 now on your worksheet. And this just takes practice, going through and being able to practice that concept. Now, in this one, we're going to go ahead and write out what the coordinates would be of our new translation. Also, I didn't do that on the last one, but we will kind of add that piece to this one. Okay, so here we're going to go ahead and first of all look at what our translation was, which was this one. So it says 4 units to the right and 1 unit down. So we're still going to follow the same translation. It's not always the same. It just happened to be on this one. So we're going to go 4 units to the right. So first of all, I'll go ahead and identify for you guys, which you're going to have to do on your own when you do your own worksheet. Just a reminder, this is your side A, and you should be able to see that the figures look the same. So this is my A. So if you want to mark these on yours, that's okay. My B was -2 up to 9. This is B. C is -8 up to 9. So over to -8 up to 9. This is C. That means my yellow dot is D. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do the translation. So I'm going to go ahead and pick one of them and follow that translation. So for A, I'm going to go over 4 and down 1. So over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1. That's where my location for my A should be. Okay, for B, and I don't like to put my letters on until I'm done, and I'll do that as the last step. So for B, I'm going to follow that same translation. So I'm going to go over 4 on my B up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1. Whoops, I'm going to mark that the same color, sorry. There's my B. Okay, so for C, same concept, over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1. And for my D, over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1. Now, as I told you earlier, if some of you are comfortable with just translating one and then copying by counting off, you can do that. Either method, you should end up with the same shape. So now if I go ahead and connect these, I'm just going to go ahead and connect them with my marker. It makes it easier when I'm erasing my board. So I'm going to go ahead and use my black marker to connect my dots. You should be using a straight edge so that it looks exactly the same. Okay. Ooh, that's not very pretty. This line over here doesn't look very good, but oh well. Okay. So there I've translated my figure. It looks pretty similar, though I'm using my marker instead of my straight edge just so I can erase it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and this time I'm going to write the coordinates of each of them. So my A, my new coordinates. Now remember, your coordinate planes are not labeled. So you're going to have to understand, you're either going to have to take the time to write them or just be comfortable with counting it out. So here is my origin. I'm going to mark it really quick with a color so that you can see it. My origin's right here. So that's my 0, 0. So to get to A, well, my coordinates, I'm going to go over to 1, 2, 3, 4, and down to -1. So my new coordinates would be 4, -1. Okay, so for B, well, my new B is right here. So the coordinates of that are over to 2. So I had to go over to the second line, and then I had to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 is my Y. Okay, so for C, here's my new C right here. And my coordinates of that, you'll notice also that every 5th line is a lot darker. And I'm not sure if that shows up as well on your sheets as it does on my screen. But I can see it very well on my screen that they've done that. And maybe you want to do that. Take a ruler and kind of draw over those with maybe a marker or something just to darken that to make it easier for you to see. Okay, so now if I do this, let's see, I went over to 4 and then up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4, 8. And then for my letter D, which is now here, well, I went, and sorry, that was -4, 8. Okay, so for my letter D, I had to go over to -3 up to 1, 2, 3, 4. So -3, comma, 4. So that's working with also identifying your coordinates. Sometimes they're going to just ask, what are the new coordinates that's of your new figure, of your translated figure? Sometimes they'll just ask you to move it, and sometimes they're going to ask us what the translation is. So here the translation was 4 units to the right, 1 unit down. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and try another concept. So on the bottom of your page, you'll notice that I kind of modified it so that we could practice writing out what the translation is. So on number 3, what you guys have, we're going to go ahead and do the translation from this lighter figure. This is the original figure. And let's do our translation to the darker figure. So this is our new figure. Okay, so, and they'll go ahead and give you, you know, it'll either be red to blue, or they'll say the light to the dark. They're going to tell you which one's going to be your original, which one's going to be your new. And so I will go ahead and make sure that as we're doing this, I'm identifying that on the slide here. And then on the back side, I will go ahead and add or write those on there. Okay, so now if I want to go from the original, which is our lighter colored one up here, to what the new one is, I'm going to pick a point and I'm just going to count it out. This process is actually pretty fast and pretty easy. I only have to pick one point. I don't have to check the translation on every single one. So I'm going to go ahead and do the point from, let's do our red to red. And it doesn't matter which one you pick. So I'm going to do my red point and I'm going to count out to get from that red dot on the left side to the red dot on the right side. What steps did I have to go? Okay, so I'm going to go over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to go to the right 9. And then I'm going to go up 1, 2. So 2 spaces up. Okay, that's my translation. So when they ask you to describe a translation, that's what they want you to do. They want you to go ahead and just pick one point. And if I picked a different one, I would still get the exact same translation. So on this one, you get to pick one point and just count to get from that point on the other figure, how many places did you move, left or right, and then how many places up or down, okay? And you could reverse those, but usually the left to right is what's stated first. Okay, so let's go ahead and try one more of these. So this is your number 4. So here's our original. And this is our new shape. So we're going to do original to new. And what is the translation? So I'm going to pick one. This time I'm going to do my yellow dots. Okay, it doesn't matter which one I pick. And I'm going to go ahead and count to get those. So I'm one that has to sit there and kind of touch each spot. For me, I'm visual. I know that I need to do that. It helps me in the counting process. So here I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I went to the right that time. You can't just say over when you do your translation, because we have to know, did it go to the left or the right? Did it go up or down? So some of you, like I said on the previous one, usually the left and right is stated first. Here I did it the reversal. It doesn't matter. I could have also counted going to the right first and counted it this way. Okay, and then counted down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So just remember that those are interchangeable. You can move one place or another. So it's either to the left or to the right first, and then up or down second, or if you reverse those, it's okay. Okay, that's pretty much it for this lesson. So what your homework is going to be is to go ahead and practice these 2 concepts. If you're stuck, rewind to the beginning part of this part of the slideshow and just re-practice those concepts maybe on your whiteboard. If you want to practice some more, you're still stumped, go ahead and ask me. I'm sure I have some other sheets that you can go ahead and practice some more. So good luck with this. And just remember, as translation, your shape stays the same size. It does not rotate. All it does is it slides or translates to another position.